Hi, I'm Dave Barnes.
And I'm John McLaughlin.
And welcome to Dadville.
Dadville is a podcast where we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of awesome dadding.
It's funny thoughts and deep talks.
So please, enjoy your time here in Dadville and enjoy this episode with Dave and me. John.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who has the healthiest skin, hair, and nails of them
Dave.
all? Tell me, mirror.
Dave.
Answer me right now.
Hey.
What?
How many times do we have to do this?
What?
It's me. I'm not a mirror.
I thought I was so
You're looking at me
there for a second.
Yeah. Listen, I have to say, lately, it is you who has the healthiest looking skin, hair, and nails of all. How do you do it?
I have literally waited for 63 days for you to ask me that.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to answer you. And I think you know that's why it's so funny. Because it was your healthy skin, hair, and nails that I was trying to emulate.
You know what I bet it is?
What?
Let's say it at the same time.
Okay.
AG1 by Athletic Greens. You struggled, but you got
I did,
there.
but I didn't know if we were going Athletic Greens first, but then I saw you quickly cutting the letters off, and I knew.
Yep. I knew it.
Yep.
I knew it. AG1 by Athletic Greens. Yep. It empowers us to take ownership of our health with a simple daily habit.
Everybody out there, John and I gave AG1 a try because we wanted increased energy, better gut health, and a supplement that actually tastes great.
That's right. I take AG1 while I'm making my morning coffee. I do the same, same routine every day, and I love it. It helps me with my improved digestion and sleep support. Plus, why take a bunch of different things when you can just take one scoop of powder and water every day?
Yeah, I get it. AG1 is powerful because it fits right into your lifestyle. Just like John said, the all-in-one formula makes it easy for you to cover your nutritional bases every day.
AG1 is delivered right to your doorstep. And again, they could deliver it to the end of the block, and I would walk and get it.
That's
happily.
How much you like it.
Happily.
Yeah.
But they bring it right to your doorstep every month.
You don't even pay for that part.
No, that part's free. So it's super easy, and it's been super easy to make it a daily habit. It's the healthiest thing you can do in under a minute.
If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase.
So go to athleticgreens.com/dadville. That's athleticgreens.com/dadville. Check it out. Go.
Wow, you went with Phil Collins.
Well, I deviated because I was like, I don't know, how much of this can I sing before we get into legal trouble? You know what I mean?
Thank you for that.
So,
though we do have millions of dollars set aside for those.
We've got it there. I mean, the money's there. It's not. That's not the issue.
It's never the issue.
Money
is never the issue at Dadville, John. Everybody, welcome back. John and I are already having fun. I hope that you're having fun.
Are.
This is another just Dave and John.
Jave and Don.
Jave and Don.
Can I be vulnerable
Please.
off the top? I already was vulnerable with legal matters.
Yeah.
But again, money's not the issue.
Not an issue.
I feel, and Dave, you and I, we've talked about this a lot, how I often have to pee halfway through an interview.
Oh, no. Already?
Well, not it's like right when you started, you were like, all right, let's go. And I was like, I don't want to ruin the vibe. And
can we see how long it lasts? And we'll just let people sort of keep up. And we'll just let them know we just took a break when it had to happen.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, clock is starting.
I think I'm okay. I think I'll be okay. But But it's like if we were getting in the car right now to go on a trip,
you'd be like,
I would have to go to the bathroom.
You'd pee in the car.
I would have to go to the bathroom in the car at some point.
Dude, real talk, which is funny you said that. Sam did that in the car without telling us in a bottle.
Oh, he did?
Yes,
in
1,000%.
That's
on this last trip.
I thought maybe he just
I think it was his last trip, but he was like, hey, by the way, I peed like an hour ago. And we were like, excuse me? He's like, yeah, I just did it in the bottle. And I was like, 1, I've never been more proud of you.
Yeah.
2, please never do that again, especially without telling us.
See, I have pushback on that latter part.
Well, I'm lying. If Annie was in the car, I would have taken my shirt off, chest bumped him, and be like, you do that as much as you want.
Even when there's a restroom.
Yeah.
If there's a bottle.
Well, you know Sam. Like, he'll still pee in yards and yards of restaurant yards.
Yeah.
He has zero shame. But it was a funny moment because it was like, am I telling the truth? Yeah. Everything's a little bit of a fog. I'm pretty sure that
I'm
happened.
jealous that you have boys.
Yeah.
because you don't have to stop.
You don't.
You just get a bottle.
You just go.
Speaking of, actually, that doesn't really work.
Can we make that a Dadville thing where we just use transitions that don't apply but still transist?
Speaking of, Halloween is upon us.
It is.
Is there any connective tissue there?
Well, kids are not quite who they are yet. So you could say that they have their child masks on in these developmental years.
Are they their true selves?
Oh,
and we're the ones with the masks on.
It's too early for that. It is too early for that.
Why are the kids going trick-or-treating when we're the ones with the masks on?
This is when I would be if I were you. That's great
Welcome
to
my TED Talk.
That is good. That is good. Oh, they got me.
But obviously people can't see me right now, but I am in full fall attire. I have a thick, kind of one of those shirts that's in between a shirt and a jacket.
Shacket.
A shacket.
Or a jert.
And I've got it buttoned all the way up.
Yep.
And I got long socks on, and
you're ready.
I'm full.
People need to know this about you. You and I live on different what's the word?
Houses.
We live in houses. I call them parallels. You call them houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We live Southern dialect.
Yeah. It's like July. You are so excited to be able to put your fall and winter clothes on. You are trying to stay warm.
Yeah.
At all times.
Well, the reason why I'm excited about it is because I finally can wear fall attire and not feel weird.
Yes.
Because it's fall.
Yes.
Whereas I'll be wearing my fall attire in the middle of
you'll have
July,
you'll have days in the summer where I feel like I need to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I know you want it, but it's not here yet.
But I'm always cold, obviously, for the listener. I'm genuinely
always
I've got a
cold.
sweatshirt on or a hoodie or something most of the time.
Yeah. And I'm trying to bring summer fashion, and let me clarify this, into the fall as deep as I can. Not because I care much about fashion at all, but because it's just a utilitarian convenience thing. Like I can throw on my Birkenstocks and shorts and a shirt and we start the day.
Yeah.
I don't have to sit and go like, do these shoes go with this outfit, or what shoes do I want to wear with the outfit?
I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah.
But when you say that, when you describe that outfit, I immediately get anxiety because I'm like, my ultimate, not ultimate, let me back that up.
I was ready for that. I was really ready for that.
If I'm leaving the house and I have Birkenstocks, shorts, and a T-shirt on, if we're not going to the beach in Miami, I'm nervous because I'm like, my fear is that we're going to go someplace. Let's say we go to lunch and we walk inside and I'm like, oh, it's too cold in here.
Oh.
Now I'm going to be cold the whole time.
For sure.
And I'm not going to be.
I get that.
I'm not going to enjoy the lunch.
I get that.
I'm not going to be my full self. I'm going to have my mask on. Which brings us, speaking of.
Well, I see what you did.
The whole time I was
leaving. Amazing. You knew.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Fall. It's great. I'm super excited about it. I don't like that it's overcast.
It has been gray here. I had this thought this morning. I'm not a seasonal depression guy. I can power through pretty well. I like a dark day every now and then. I like a rainy day every now and then.
Every now and then.
Every now and then. As a creative, I love it. I like to get in my studio and kind of feel like, okay, this is,
Get your Birkenstocks on.
Get my Birkenstocks. I'm just freezing. My little piggies are so cold. But I had this thought today. I was like, I think I've got a little tinge of it because we have just it has been gray in Nashville for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
And we had fall break. You and I both were down at the beach. Mm-hmm. And it was gray there for about half the time.
Yeah.
And so it's been, and I'm like a little blah. In fact, I had a co-write yesterday and we started this kind of moody vibe. And I've never said this in my life. But I was like, guys, I don't think I can do moody or like a ballad today. I got to do something.
Yeah, you got to balance it out.
I'm like already too kind of sad.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. And let me tell you, fall to me, there are a few things that I enjoy more than fall Saturdays. And let me give you some context. Sunny fall Saturdays, like 60-degree fall Saturdays. I don't mean what we have right now where it's like gloomy and kind of those get a little sad. But for me and my fam, it's like you get up, you get your coffee, turn on some English Premier League soccer, of course, if Arsenal's playing. Mm-hmm. We just put a little TV on our outside porch. So now if the kids are like watching MMA or whatever they're watching in,
Right.
Halloween, one of the Halloween movies. We will go outside and Andy and I can watch Sports Center, but it's just like that little, whatever that vibe is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of like, oh, we're at the house,
It's great. You feel like you're in a catalog.
It's exactly right.
Yeah.
And in Nashville, you get that for maybe you get like 4 or 5 of those Saturdays where it's
Yeah.
like nice enough to sit on the back porch, sun's out. It's like, as are the guns usually. And what we're doing right now, I do not enjoy. Like the gloomy, rainy. It's too much of that. And I'm like, the older I get, I mean, I have friends who legit have seasonal depression, like for real, for real.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have that, but man, you get enough of these days in a row, and I'm a little gloomy.
Yeah, I definitely get it. The seasonal depression stuff. But I feel like I'm better at sort of managing it now because there are things that I can do to sort of dress up it's like you romanticize the sadness. Yeah. And I can, like you're saying, like as the artist in you can kind of like it.
Yeah.
But it's like I was just saying to Amy the other day, there's a community center here in our neighborhood that's great. And sometimes on like gloomy days and rainy days or cold days or whatever, Amy and I sometimes will go and like walk the track in there.
Yeah.
As we're waiting to go pick the girls up. And because that's a memory and we've done it now enough times, like through the winters, now it's like there's a romance to it.
Yeah.
If it was the first time that we'd ever done it, it doesn't have any romance yet because it doesn't have any nostalgia or whatever.
Yeah.
So now it's like I have enough of those things that I can do that I'm like, there's some romance around it that I can deal with it. But I mean, I don't know what the day count is, but I don't know, 6 days, 4 days.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to see the sun.
Everybody
I'm
going to
buy a plane ticket just to get above the clouds.
Everybody that listens to us in Seattle is like, you guys are wusses.
We are. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
But you know what?
Live in Seattle.
Acuff, another Davil alum, John Acuff posted this. He posts this all the time, actually. He'll post it once a year just because it's his shot across the bow. Nashville actually has like more gray days than Seattle. I remember this is like a thing. He it's some fact like that. You'd be really surprised because he talks so much about this kind of thing as a joke, just kind of how rainy Nashville is. And he had a fact he would post for a while that was kind of like, no. Nashville gets gloomy and it kind of stays gloomy.
It does.
Speaking of gloomy, Halloween.
Whoa. Wow.
I know, it's so good.
Man,
we
you're wearing extra Birkenstocks today or something.
I actually have Birkenstock underwear. We have Halloween together numerous times.
What would Birkenstocks
I don't
underwear?
know. Don't think about that.
It would just be leather straps and
man.
buckles.
It'd be like Conan the Barbarian.
Yes.
Conan the
Conan.
Conan. Yeah, you got to hit Nan hard.
Yeah.
Never said that out loud. I mean, I feel like one of the things that I think most about when I think about Halloween is actually the weather. Because, I have
it's
my
all
time
dependent
hop.
on the weather.
I have my time hop, and every time it's around then, like right now, it always reminds me that every year is 30 degrees different than the year before.
Yeah.
It's either there's some that are really cute when the girls in our 3 are young, and we're walking around with y'all, and we're like, it was 32 degrees.
Yeah.
And so everybody in the picture is like bundled up.
Yeah.
Some years it's like T-shirts and the Birks,
Mm-hmm.
And then everything in between. Like it's nice during the day, but you can kind of feel, it's getting a little tricky tonight.
Yeah.
But it's never the same. It's never,
true.
Nashville fall is always all over the place. But Halloween is always my marker for it because I always have pictures of it. I'm always like, oh, that was the year it was so nice.
Right.
And everybody like enjoyed it. And then, oh, that's the year it was -5.
Mm-hmm.
It's just never, it's the weirdest season.
It's like you really need to have 2 costumes set aside.
Yeah.
Like if it's going to be cold, I'm going to go as the lion with the onesie because it's like I'm basically wearing a snowsuit.
Yeah.
Or if it's going to be warm, I'm going to do Conan.
Can we give a shout out, which I think you're one of these dads, the dads that complete the family dress up. You've
like
done that.
Theme-wise or whatever?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like, haven't y'all done that where you kind of like everybody subscribed to the...
One year, it was the year that I was like the lion.
Yeah.
I think Amy went out and got, like, Livy was pretty young. She was like a little unicorn. All of us had the little onesie things on.
Oh, gotcha.
So it wasn't necessarily themed.
Theme, yeah.
But
it was
I
a onesie
dressed up.
theme.
Yeah.
I always have so much respect for the dads who like are all in, where it's
Yeah.
like they do. That night is a little terrifying too, because like, Nashville has some big trick or treat neighborhoods, or streets. Like one of the streets close to us, cordons off, and it's awesome. But like, your kids can take off, and especially they're dressed up, and we've had a couple of scares where it's like we don't know where one of them is, and you can't recognize them because they've either got a costume, every kid does, or you just like,
and you can't remember.
What? Yes.
Are they the unicorn?
That's
or was
exactly
that last
right.
year?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen her in 30 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. Every time, because we always trick or treat in this area here, which is great. But every time I'm like, why didn't we dress them up as like lemons or something? Something like
or
bright
cones.
Yellow. Yes.
The other thing about Halloween too, as I get older, and here I'm going to come in with a hot take. I think one of the things that is tricky about Halloween now, so like if you walk in our house right now and you go in our pantry, there are like candy bags just in there. Like a lot of it is from previous Halloweens, but there's just kind of and I mean, it's funny because we don't really eat candy, but we just have a lot of it at the top. And so our kids know that. So it's kind of like Halloween. I feel like, here's my hot take, when we grew up, right? Getting a Reese's felt like a huge deal because you just didn't have them in your house. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't, you wouldn't go in your pantry and see Nestle Crunch bars. Just,
right.
It was like you had.
Definitely not in my house.
No, mine either. I mean, we had
like
Little Debbie
dried peanuts. Just peanuts.
So when they give you a payday, you're like, this is what these can be?
Yes.
Snickers, this is where you can go with this energy?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? So for us, Halloween was a huge deal because, like you couldn't go to Walmart and buy a candy bag of Halloween candy. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever the Mars would put together, like, here's all of our chocolate things, and open it, and there's 100 different brands in there that you can, it's like Halloween kind of whatever. Back then it was like, you were usually getting the bar. Like if you got a Twix, it was like the freaking full-size double hitter.
Yeah.
And so when you did that, you would go home, and it really was like, oh my gosh, like we have
treasure.
We've hit the mudload. That's one of the bummers about today, because our kids bring them home and they sort of eat it for like a day, but then it's nothing new. They're like, well, this is always in our house.
Yeah.
It's like somebody giving them like French fries or something. Like here's some spaghetti. They're like, well, I just had this last night.
It's like someone giving them like unconditional love and acceptance.
It's
like,
somebody
nowadays,
affirming them.
They get it all the time.
Back
in our day, once a year.
Is my dad my dad? That's a question I'm going to ask him at some point when I get the guts.
When you get the guts up.
But you know what I'm saying? It's lost a little bit. I think because of just the way the world is. It's not bad or good. It's just whatever. But, you know, whenever that was, 10, 20 years ago when they would make candy like that, so you went and bought the bag and they sit in top of your cupboard every year now. And so the kids always see like, oh, there's a huge bag of like Reese's and Nestle and whatever paydays. You know, it's like, oh, that's there, and then they go get it and it's fine, but we already have it at home. I just remember growing up, it was like when somebody gave you like a ring pop in a bag, it was like, oh my God, I have a ring pop.
Yeah.
These only live in convenience stores.
And like there would be kids around town that would be like, you guys know Dave Barnes? And they'd be like, oh, is that to do with the ring pop right now? Yeah, I heard. I don't know him, but I heard about him.
He was wearing the Eaton ring pop at school yesterday.
With the wrapper still on. His finger was sweating all day.
I've never heard the phrase, his finger was sweating all day. Okay, John.
Dave.
John, over here. Right here. Nope, right here.
Doing it? Okay.
No, right here.
We're doing it on the swing set today. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So now that you sat down, please just stop swinging so I can ask you this.
Okay. It's hard not to swing on a swing set.
Down. Okay, good.
Okay.
Can you name one of Oprah's favorite things in 2018?
Oh, got to be Blockbuster Video.
Nope.
Got to be. Okay. New Coke.
It's getting colder.
The Commodore 64.
You are basically in
Seriously?
a different zip code. Yeah. You're not, this is not working out good.
Okay.
Here's one of Oprah's favorite things from 2018. Cozy Earth's bedding bamboo sheet set.
You know what? It's one of my favorite things in 2023. I love Cozy Earth and Oprah too.
Cozy Earth's best-selling bamboo sheet set, not just one, John. They're not going to send you one.
They're going to give them all to you.
It's a temperature regulating and incredibly incredibly soft set of sheets, John. Reinvent your sanctuary with Cozy Earth's luxurious bedding collection. From pillows to sheets and blankets, indulge in the ultimate luxury.
You know, with other sheets,
Yeah.
I don't sleep confidently.
Oh,
but with these sheets,
so
you can
insecure.
sleep with confidence
You can.
thanks to Cozy Earth's generous warranty.
Yeah.
Luxury bedding essentials that provide peace of mind and endless comfort.
Make every night a 5-star experience with Cozy Earth's responsibly sourced, temperature-regulating bamboo viscose bedding.
CozyEarth.com is where dreams come true.
And
so
where dreams
wake
are made.
up,
And where
and they're
dreams are
made.
Gosh.
All kinds of slogans going on here.
Yeah.
It's your destination for the softest, most luxurious sheets. From cashmere blends to timeless textures, they've got it all.
Cozy Earth provided an exclusive offer for our listeners today. Visit CozyEarth.com and get up to 35%
What?
off site-wide
That's insane.
when you use the code DADVILLE.
That's insane. And that's CozyEarth.com and get up to 35% off site-wide when you use the code DADVILLE.
But it has changed a little bit. Obviously, the costumes are... I mean, my mom made me a Darth Vader costume when I was made it. And, dude, it felt like still one of the greatest gifts anyone's ever given to me. Because Mom, slaved over making... I remember, his little... on his chest, it has all the buttons and the lights and everything. She made that out of cardboard and then made, felt that went over it, put the little colors as circles and square. I mean, it was
wow.
it was legit.
Right now in this moment, I want to talk to Brad, you're the youngest, and be like, did you get that kind of treatment?
He's like, my
Or was
brother's
that
never
just
going to kiss a girl. This is so exciting.
No, I'm thinking how you do so much for the first kid.
Oh, man.
And then by the third, you're like, I don't know.
His is like a broken Darth Vader mask that's half fits ripped. She's like, no, this is stays. Remember when he kind of got beat up and died? This is sort of what he looked like,
He just takes a cordless phone and duct tapes it to his chest.
And they're like, is he a suicide bomber? Is he Yeah, I do enjoy it. Halloween's so fun, but I do feel like, and too, when you're living in a city like we do now. I mean, I grew up, as you did, in a really small town, so it's that was such a different vibe, and just how, how that went. Now there's, our streets are, especially living where we live in 12th South, it's just a million people, and it's
great.
so. And then the other thing
great.
is, so maybe this is a good way to stay with me, Transist. Are you a family that puts the thing outside, turns the lights off in the house because you don't want to be bothered and the girls have gone to bed? Or are you always interacting as people come trick or treat? Because the other part of living downtown in the city like we do, people are trick or treating until 9:30.
Yeah.
And so then you have the dilemma of am I going to get up every time and walk to the door and give them? But if you put it outside, it's going to be gone. Those first 10 kids are just going to ransack your candy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we often leave, we're out. So we just put the giant bowl out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get back to the house, I don't know, Amy might refill it a little bit if we've got some left or whatever. But that is kind of a bummer that we're not at the door and then we hear the doorbell and we go and we're like, who are you supposed to be? Trick or treat? We don't do that.
Do you ask the kids who they're supposed to be? That feels sort of a shame and do.
Actually, on all the other days, not on Halloween though.
Oh, that got me so good. Good to meet you, Timmy. Now, who are you supposed to be? What?
Who does your dad want you to be?
Good
who are you not being?
Oh, good
Dave,
golly,
speaking of, I have some just some thoughts here that I was hoping that maybe I could.
That's a great transition.
I could throw out here. I want to I mean, this isn't necessarily speed round, but this is just some.
Wait, can I ask you something? Are you transitioning out of Halloween?
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. Can I ask you one last question?
Yeah, please do.
If you were trick or treating at your age right now,
mm-hmm.
what would be the 3 candies that you would be the most excited about getting?
That's a great question. Top,
I know
is candy pumpkins.
I knew you were gonna say that.
They're just, they're so good.
Is there anything that's more absolutely sugar than the candy corn or the candy pumpkin?
I don't think so.
It's just unadult. It's literally just sugar.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I think it's sugar plus whatever is above sugar. I don't think it's like Yahweh. There's not a name for it. You can't. Candy pumpkins is number one for sure. But here's the thing with candy pumpkins and candy corn. I'm just gonna keep talking and let you. Dave has a full mouth of coffee right now. He's trying to hold it together. It's like Sammy Barnes with a bottle on a car trip.
Oh my gosh, that got me. It's like Yahweh.
If I don't, I never go out and get candy pumpkins. I never go out and buy them. I mean, you can get candy corn all year round.
Yeah.
I never go out and buy it. But if, like, down in Florida, we went with some dear friends of ours, the Elliots, who it's kind of a thing with Kirsten and me because we both like candy pumpkins. And most people don't like these kinds of candies.
Yeah.
Like, most people think they're disgusting.
Yeah.
So we went on vacation with them last fall break, and she brought a bag of candy pumpkins.
Oh, man.
If I have one.
Yeah, it's over.
It's like it hits, it reconfigures the chemistry of my brain.
It's like when sharks smell blood.
Yes.
Like their eyes roll back, and it's a feeding frenzy. Yeah.
But if I don't have it, I can even see the bag.
Yeah.
I have willpower until it touches my tongue.
Yeah.
And then
it's over. So what is it like? Be honest. Honest. If you have one, how many in the next 5 minutes you gonna have? Like honestly.
I mean, it's less now than it used to be 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I mean, I remember being on tour in October 2007, and Dave, I mean, I wouldn't leave. We were on tour, and I wouldn't leave the bus without pockets full of them. No joke. I was just walking around,
just cramming. Yeah.
Yeah, and I never left with enough.
Do you have a way you eat them? Or you just kind of go. You just like, let's rock it, or you like, let's chew the little top part.
No, I go all at once.
Okay.
But I can tell by the look of it if it's going to be really good or just good.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, now I'm much better. I can eat. I would say I'll probably eat like 5 before I take the bag, throw it in the trash, and dump like soap over it.
5 is super respectable.
Yeah.
I was ready for like potentially triple digits.
Yeah. No. Now I'm
okay. So
I'm better.
So the pumpkins.
Yeah, candy pumpkins would be number 1. Candy pumpkins would be number 2.
Let me guess number 3. Candy corn.
I really like Baby Ruth.
Oh yeah, okay. I love that. I didn't know that. Man, Baby Ruth.
I mean, I like Twix. I like 100 Grand. Anything that has like caramel in it.
Yeah. Wait, 100 Grand the coconut?
No, it's like the rice crispy thing.
Oh, I don't know that. I know
it's
that.
like chocolate
I know what it looks
with
like.
the crispy chocolate with the caramel.
Oh.
What about you?
I'm gonna. This is just rapid fire. I'm gonna probably say, Twix would be in there.
Yep.
Reese, but I'll give you all iterations. If you want to give me the egg, if you want to give me the OG, I kind of love that they do those now where they put all the other stuff in it.
What other stuff?
Like like they do the cups, but they'll put like M&Ms in the chocolate in the cup.
Yeah.
Equal opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in third, I don't know. I mean, I do love Nestle Crunch. I'm pretty equal opportunity. As long as it doesn't have coconut. I can't do coconut. But I'm equal opportunity pretty much with. I mean, I remember. I mean, you're gonna laugh. It felt like, I had acquired taste for wine. I remember like years ago when we were on the road, and I got a Payday at a gas station, and I was like, I feel like I'm so mature. Like I like Paydays. Like look at me.
Yeah.
Like, but Baby Ruth and Paydays kind of live in the same. Probably because of peanuts. I like Snickers. I probably will never choose to buy a Snicker.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Three Musketeers for a minute, but I'm out of that.
I feel like I overdid Three Musketeers when I was a kid,
Well said.
I can't go back.
Well said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say no to most of that stuff.
Yeah.
And every now and then, if I have a night where like I'm really wanting like a post little sugar snack, I mean post meals, kind of snack, I'll kind of do that little rifle through the bag, and then I have a real dilemma because all of that stuff is in there. And I'm like, but to me, and this is another thing I think a lot of people do as they grow up. I know me and my sister laugh about this, but like now I kind of want it to be cold, so I like put it in the fridge or the freezer.
That's a good move.
And that's a whole other thing.
That does take it to another level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also just slows down how fast I eat it, which is really
like
embarrassing.
A frozen Milky Way.
Bro.
That's pretty good.
Wait, what is Milky Way? Isn't that a Snicker? Isn't it the same as Snicker?
It's basically a Snickers without the peanuts, I think.
Oh, you're right.
A Milky Way is it's got caramel on the top, and then it's got, I think, like the Three Musketeers stuff.
Yeah.
On the bottom,
the kind of dense, weird, what is this?
Whatever that is. I don't know.
Again, Yahweh.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
You can't spell it out. No vowels.
There's no vowels. It's just consonants. Okay, sorry.
This is the most faith-based candy conversation.
It is. Oh, jeez. There's some VBS program that's tried to do this, but they just couldn't land it.
They have the workbooks halfway written.
I can't do it.
Okay. I got a couple, questions. Are you ready?
I'm so ready. I've never been more ready.
Okay, question number 1. Dave,
Yeah.
If you could go back to the beginning of your career and you could change one thing, but this thing has to be a pretty superficial kind of thing. It can't be like, I want to start my career by writing, yesterday.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
What would it be?
What would that thing be?
Can you answer? I'd love to hear yours. Yeah, go.
Yeah, my answer is, I have 2 things, which I can because I wrote the question.
Because you were like,
you can only have one, but my 2 things would be, 1, I would not go by my actual name, because
what?
John, maybe I would go by John something, but John, I would put the H in
What's
there.
your middle name?
Michael.
Yeah, it's even worse.
So it's like, it's a double, it's like 2 strikes on my name. McLaughlin, good luck spelling that.
And there's another very successful
one.
jazz guitarist. Yeah.
Right. So I would go by something else, like
that is so fascinating.
Like John Legend or something like I would.
Yeah.
I would think of something else and go by that.
Yeah.
And
then his real name is Legendarius, and his was like
Legendarius. Yeah, with 3 S's. The other thing is I would wear more.
I love this already.
Flamboyant. I don't know if flamboyant is the right term, but I would just wear more fun stage clothes.
Oh, wow. I mean, I would have given you you could have given me 100 guesses and that wouldn't have even been in there.
Yeah. Yeah. It was actually Halloween 2011, I believe. We played a show on Halloween, and the guys and I all dressed up, and I dressed up. We had never done that before, and I dressed up like Elton John.
Oh.
And I had these
and
like
the baseball
huge. No, I mean it was like piecemealed together.
Oh, okay.
No, but I had like a boa. Like we went to a store and got a boa.
Oh my gosh!
I had like huge like red.
How heavy
lens.
is that thing? And did you feed it or?
Yeah, it was like a baby.
Oh, okay.
Boa.
Was it trying to kill you the whole show?
Yes.
That is, but I bet you could hit higher notes.
I like the challenge of it. Yeah. And eventually, he knew the set list, and so he knew when to squeeze. So dumb.
You gotta thump him, and he squeezes a little bit.
Like, it's time. 3rd chorus. Go up.
Help me out.
But it made the show more fun.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, I think there's a part. You know what it would do for me? I think it would get me out of like I'm Dave Barnes here.
Yeah.
And you're kind of playing somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
That it takes, you're not having to be yourself for that hour and 20 minutes, whatever.
Which I think that we kind of came up during a time where it was the opposite of that.
Yeah.
What we're describing. It's like, no, this is me. This is not. We're anti-production and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
It's authentic singer-songwriter.
Yes.
But just doing that one show, I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
It feels like you're saying, it feels like I'm kind of playing a role a little bit.
Yeah.
It heightens it a little bit.
Everything that I've thought about since you've asked me that question, I realize there's like a other part of it that I don't. So like, part of me is like, you know, I think the thing that I didn't think a lot about was that this stuff that you're creating, you'll forever be known by.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so that song that you put on the record is gonna live forever, and
Uh-huh.
so like you should think about that. Or these pictures you're taking for the record
Uh-huh.
are gonna live forever. Or so my first instinct, is to kind of go, hey, just like maybe give it a little more thought. You know what I mean? Just like whatever that is. But then I'm like, I don't have anything I really look back and go, oh my God, that photo shoot or those pictures we put out or the cover or, that
Yeah.
those songs. So it's tricky because I'm like, I can answer that actually. I think I can definitively say this. I would sit down and be like, hey, you need to rehearse more than you want to.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
I still don't enjoy rehearsing, but
Yeah.
I really didn't back then. And
Yeah.
I think I would just say, hey, maybe just run it a couple more times
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure. So that'd probably be it.
Okay. Second question. Similar. If you could go back to the beginning of being a dad and change one habit, what would it be? You could either implement a habit that you never did or omit sort of a bad habit that you wish you didn't have.
You go first again.
I told Amy this and she's like, well, that's not realistic. And I'm like, well, this is fantasy world.
You're like loving them too much. Just that I care so much. I just care about them
too much. Again, it's back to the ubiquity of the candy. It's like, it's too much unconditional love. Mine would be that I wouldn't ever raise my voice.
Wow.
Which, again, I agree with Amy. She's like, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't you dare, But I was like, the thing is, it doesn't work with our kids. Like, it's one thing if you do it rarely, but when you do it, you really put your foot down, and and then they respond. It just doesn't work with our girls. Like, if I raise my voice, it has no effect on them. And it ends up working against any kind of progress in the situation.
Yeah.
And so it's like I then am just frustrated and tired and out of ideas.
Yeah.
And so I'm raising my voice. And it's like the irony of like, well, now I'm behaving in a way that you, my daughter, was behaving, which got us in this place in the first place. I just don't like that. I don't like that. I don't do it. I mean, it doesn't matter. I do it more than I would like.
Yeah. You know what though? I'll say this, and I'll actually quote your wife on this. I love what you always quote about Amy wanting a real marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Not a perfect marriage, but a real marriage. And I think there's a little bit of that with our kids in Perfect Dad versus a Real Dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I know this sounds weird, and you got to be careful saying something like this because there's definitely qualifiers, but or there's fences around it you want to be careful of, right?
Yeah.
To not go past. But I do have moments where I'm like, I'd rather my kids see genuine anger or me getting mad and losing control over my emotions. Rupture and repair always, right? Like knowing that I'm going to apologize for this, right? And I'm not meaning to do it. But I think there's a world where kids can grow up in environments where it's just not real. And then they get into the world. And then when somebody gets mad at them, they shut down because they're like, I've never seen this and I don't know how to respond to this,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know that this is a real thing because I grew up in an environment where that was not, I never saw somebody get mad or I didn't see somebody get mad at me. You know what I mean? And I don't know how to deal with somebody that's either in charge of me, like a boss or,
Right.
And so I do think there is something to like, as long as you're, repairing those ruptures, I do think is valuable for kids to see like, man, people can get mad and people get mad at me, sometimes rightfully so and wrongfully so. But I think there's something that is valuable about that, or there's something to learn from in that I think like being too
That's
even
true.
can
That's
be a
true.
little unfair on your kid because I think they may go out in the world going like, that person's mad at me and you should never be mad.
Right.
Or you should never be mad at me.
That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I try to give myself grace for that with our kids because I agree with you. Like I don't enjoy getting mad at them or snapping at them or whatever. But I'm also like, again, to Amy's point, I'm like, I'd kind of rather them see a real dad and a real human and have me apologize later and continue in our
Yeah.
friendship and our relationship always. But, then sort of like dad who was just always overregulated and they never, this just, to your point, is really unrealistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I think for me, it's probably something around like reading to him. I literally, I mean, this is embarrassing to say out loud. People probably stop listening to the podcast because of this, especially since it's called Dadville, but they're not my kids. No. No, I never did like the read to him in bed thing. I just never, I've thought about doing it recently, but I'm like, we've just never done that. My kids all read going to bed, so they're all reading all the time, but I just was never like, let's sit down and read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or War and Peace. But and I think maybe sometimes I look back and I'm like, I know myself enough to know. We've talked about this exhaustively on this podcast, but like that time of the day, I just want it to be over. There's nothing I want to be over more than getting my kids in the bed. And so anything that feels like we're going to exacerbate this moment, I'm like, I'm out. I'm the hardest out. Now, I think the counterpoint would be, we'll just start bed earlier, like just go up a little earlier and put in 10 minutes, 20 minutes for reading.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be tacked on to what's already, whatever.
Right.
But, I mean, I'm sure there's better answers, but that's the first thing I think of. Yeah.
Well, just wait till they get to high school. Then you can start the reading.
Guys, lay down.
Lay down.
Where's Waldo?
Also, come home. Where are you? I've got the book.
Are you looking at? I'm looking at 2. Okay, I'm on page 5. What page are you on? Okay. Would you tell your friends to calm down just a little bit? Okay, page 5. Do you see him?
Wait, are you driving?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Dave Barnes. Dave Barnes. All right, that's enough. We got to get serious because I have something very serious to say.
Oh, jeez.
Okay? And I want you to listen. I want all of our listeners to listen because that's what they do by definition. They're listeners. Okay?
Yep.
I got to say this.
Okay.
Knock Around. It's the original affordable sunglass company offering quality shades that won't break the bank. God, I've been needing to get that off my chest.
I don't say this a lot, but you're right, John. And Knockaround sunglasses are available in 17 different frame styles,
That's insane.
A ton of different color combos, and are offered with both standard UV 400 protection and polarized lenses.
So with 17 different frame styles and a ton of different color combinations, the combinations are endless. Now, that didn't need to be said, but I wanted to say it. And Dave, Knockaround also has kid-sized sunnies for the little ones, like the little kids.
Yeah.
Or if for the kid inside of you, if you want to just wear tiny sunglasses.
If you're a huge person with a small face. Any of those scenarios, okay?
And they're always releasing new sunglasses, so go to knockaround.com and check out the latest releases.
John, I'm actually already there. I wasn't listening to what you just said. Look, if you're a skier or a snowboarder, don't forget to check out Knockaround's assortment of awesome snow goggles, including their officially licensed Grateful Dead goggles.
Grateful Dead Dancing Bears Slingshots. What? Oh, yeah. I just ordered 2 pairs for when I hit the slopes this winter.
Groovy, man. I tried. I don't know that it worked well, but I was trying to get in the
It didn't work.
Hey, wait, did you know how to snowboard, John? I feel like we haven't talked about that.
It doesn't matter if I know how to snowboard.
No.
The snowboarding is just a vehicle for the knockaround goggles.
Listen, I respect that so much. I think what I hear you saying is, and I'm quoting this, there's a road, no simple highway between the dawn of the dark of night, and if you go, no one may follow. The path is for your steps along.
Wow.
Yeah, right there. That's just right off the dome.
Hey, 3 words, Dave. Exactly.
Wow.
Now, Dave, tell our listeners how they can get their own pair of Grateful Dead ski goggles.
Okay, here's what you do. Since you're a loyal Dadville listener, you can head on over to knockaround.com and use promo code DADVILLE15 anytime for 15% off your order.
That's right. Go to knockaround.com and use the promo code DADVILLE15 for 15% off your order of an awesome new pair of sunglasses. Speaking of, actually, I'm going to skip over that one. Even though I'm like, segues works so perfectly. Okay. But I'm going to skip over it.
Okay, I respect that.
Okay. You and I, we're sitting in your studio right now, which is where you work. This is where the magic happens, if you will.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time in this room by yourself. As I spend a lot of time in my room by myself, my little writer room. Do you have any habits that you do when you're by yourself back here that you only do in this setting?
Oh, that's a great question. Do you?
Yeah. I thought about this, and I don't know if this might be the only one. I don't know. I can't think of any others. But I do this thing where I talk to myself out loud. I'm not necessarily talking to myself, I'm just talking out loud. And it genuinely helps me complete tasks.
So give me an example.
Like, and it works for me. Like, if I need to, let's say I'm working in a session or whatever, and I've got Logic pulled up, and sometimes I can just get tired. I can get lazy. It's like I need to replay whatever. Let's say I'm doing a piano take, and I know the bridge was bad and the intro was weird, whatever. If I don't say anything out loud, my likelihood of going back and fixing it goes down exponentially.
Okay, so.
But if I just say it out loud, I'll do it.
So
There's something about, like, I'll just be like, all I got to do is go. This is me talking.
Oh, okay.
So, or I'll say things like this. So what you do is you got to go back, and I'll be doing it at the same time. I'm like, you got to go back to the bridge here, and there's the thing. Just play it and listen to it.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, it helps me.
You do that out loud?
Yeah, all the time. I talk to myself all the time back there. And it helps me. There's something about me hearing it. It's like this, like, reciprocal sort of circle of information that, like, if it just stays in my head, somehow it can't get to my hands yet. It needs to, like, come out of my mouth and hit my ears. And then it seems less overwhelming.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the closest thing I have to anything like that is, like, if I'm, like, really in the middle of, like, a workflow, like I'm writing or working on one of my songs or something in Logic. If I've done it long enough, I'll purposefully, like, take a break. So I'll, like, open Twitter or Instagram, like, very purposefully. I'll be like, stop doing this, or I'll come sit on this chair and, like, catch up on email on my phone or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's more, like, those kind of quirky little disciplines. I can't think of anything that, like, that I necessarily have that is hysterical, that, like, talking to yourself. Yeah, I mean,
I bet there's one that you do when you're on a phone call. I mean, people can't see where.
No! I
have a route. That
very particular route.
Yeah,
extremely particular route. So that would that's a very good example. Yeah, I have a very real. I tell you what, something I do enjoy doing is if I'm in the middle of a lyric or something that doesn't involve me having to stay in this room, I will go walk up and down Belmont. That's become, like, a fun new thing.
I love that.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
Not to get too inside baseball here, but if you're at the point with a song where you know the direction of the lyric, and you have a bunch of pillars in that lyric, and then it's so fun because then you're just trying to fill in and find the best thing, and there's, like, some math to it. I love that.
Yeah,
and going on a walk is great. Like, just you know. I'll stand up from the piano, grab my acoustic guitar, and just kind of stand there and, like, it never works. It never helps, but I just have to do it. I've never once been like, changing from the piano to the guitar was so good. Everything. And I found that lyric. It never works.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about profile pictures.
Oh, man.
This is the question. This is a question for everyone.
Here we go.
How old can a profile picture be? Actually, I should have done this before we started. I'm going to go to my Instagram.
Okay.
And, okay. That picture is 2 years old.
That's old. Okay.
See, I was going to say, that's not bad.
Okay. Here's the thing about that to me, and we're gonna get into the nitty gritty here, John. Okay, are you ready? I am at an age where I don't look like I used to look. Like I just don't. Like, like I'm 45. Like my there's a couple more wrinkles. Like there's some gray happening.
Uh-huh.
And so I think at this age there's there's a real dilemma because you're like, okay, you and I agree so much on this. We hate taking pictures.
1,000%.
Sorry, I should say having pictures taken of us. We do not enjoy it, right?
Right.
When I have a photo shoot coming up for a record, I'd rather chum the waters and jump in than do a photo shoot. I just really don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I know you're the same way.
Yeah.
So my temptation is, well, just use I remember, in my management, Richard is so good about, branding. And, one of the first things we did with these new songs we've been putting out is he's like, we're going to change the avatar with every song. Like, every profile pic we're changing so it changes. And I immediately had a moment. I, peed my pants just a little bit on my Birkenstocks. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we just need some new pictures. And we needed to anyway because I had this new record.
New pictures.
Nude pictures.
Okay.
What are you hearing me say? Say it again. But I was like, oh, no. And I knew we were going to have to anyway because we have the new record. So you and I know.
It's coming.
A rhythm in our career is when you have a new record, even if it's just to get some new profile pictures, tour pictures. Because, nowadays you're not really selling. You're doing records. But, CDs, you would need, at least a couple of pictures, in the
And
magazine.
all the venues you play, they want a picture for their website.
That's right.
They want press release pictures.
So you need that. So weird. Sorry, I'm not going to pull you into this, John, because you're still young. I'm at an age where you really notice the difference between pictures now. I mean, when you were 21 to 35, for me at least, it's like you could easily throw up a picture and leave it, or go back to 2 years ago and grab a picture and throw it up, and it was nobody knew.
Right.
And in the last couple of years, I have literally felt as I would drag, go, oh, I just need to, and I'd be like, you are lying, you liar. That is from. I have pictures from when I was 28 that I was trying to put up, and I was like, Dave, you can't do that anymore.
Well, the thing is, there needs to be some sort of parliament or something that just kind of goes through, and you get contacted by this group that's like, hey, I hope you're doing well. Your page looks great. We just want to let you know you've got 3 months.
Too far.
You got to change it.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
You think you look exactly the same.
That's your high school photo, John.
You don't.
That's your high school swimming photo when you were in great shape.
But it's like I look at this picture and I'm like, this sounds ridiculous, but I'm like, well, I look the same.
Yeah.
That's me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, caveat that, of course, it's a professional photo.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's as good as you can look.
Good.
Yes.
It's not only, I would argue, I would admit, it's like, I never look like that. This is like a guy was taking the photo with lighting.
Yeah.
We took 10 of them.
Yeah.
In that exact position.
And
we picked the best one. And then
all the magic.
He went in and took out, if there was something in my teeth, he took it out.
Yeah.
So it's like, I realize I don't look that good.
Yeah.
But I think I pretty much look the same.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's why we need this group of people
to tell you,
to reach out to people and say, okay, it's time.
It is. I mean, we had these pictures done for the new record, and they're great, and I love them. And it was one of the first real times. And I think I look great. I mean, it's like he did a good job making me look great,
Yeah.
But I'm 45. I'm not 22 anymore.
So this is the first time where you looked at the photos and you're like, oh, that's a 45-year-old
man. Yeah. And that's not bad at all. But I was like, I'm getting to the age where I can't, and I had this exact thought about avatars, about profile pic. I was like, I can't fudge these anymore. I can't pull from 5 years ago and be like, oh, it's the same, because people are like, bro, that's not.
See, I feel like you can, but I'm too close.
You're young. No, you're still.
No. I'm saying for you.
Oh,
I feel like I'm looking at, if we get into Brother Bring the Sun and stuff like that, I'm like, I can tell that's
also,
a while.
I was dyeing my hair, but
right. But I don't feel like maybe this group would be like, no. John, your friend John can't weigh in on this. He's too inside.
Yeah.
We're the objective third
party.
We
don't see Dave at all.
Yeah, and these two pictures don't look the same.
It's one of the weirdest things about what we do, in my opinion, because it's like
I hate it.
Part of our job is to have, what you just said, photos for the venues and the whatever newspapers or whatever we do it for. Obviously, all the online things, and it's just like it's this weird sort of like gut punch every couple of years. That's just part of our job, where it's like, all right, let's see how they look. Yeah, man, and I think too, this photo shoot, which again, I love the photos and I'm proud of how I look. I'm not. It's none of that, but I really did have to, like, because when the first one popped up, I took a beat and went, Dave, you don't see yourself all the time. This is how you look. Like, you need to scroll through these and not want to rebook the shoot and not want to. And I actually really do love the pictures, but I was like, this is the age you're at. This is not like, you're not, this is where we are. So I had to really like die this little death of like, hey man, this is what growing up is,
Yeah.
So it's funny you said that, because I think,
I mean,
look at Wirtz.
Yeah.
I mean, Wirtz is almost entirely gray. I mean, so you can't fudge it anymore. It's like, if you've seen Matt live or seen him out and about, I mean, he's an incredibly handsome looking, and his hair looks amazing, but it's not the same color it was.
Right.
And so you can't, you know what I mean? Like, you can't go do a tour and then come home and throw up a picture from 5 years ago.
And it was like, great tour.
People are gonna be like, what?
Yeah.
Are you dyeing your hair?
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know. All right. One more? Should we do one more?
One more. Here we go. Let's give him something on the way out.
Okay. Let's go with this one. Okay. This is a nice light one here.
Okay.
So I went to a Nashville soccer game the other day.
Yeah.
By the way, so Dave and I, for the listener, we have a bike that we share.
Oh, yeah.
Dave and I.
Yeah.
Electric bikes.
Big shout out to Electric.
Great brand.
Yep.
Love the bike. They gave us a free bike. Thankfully, we live right across the street from each other, so we can share a bike.
It would
That's
be a
doable.
different experience.
It would be a different experience if we didn't. So I rode that bike, which is amazing. You can ride your bike straight up to the front gate and valet it for free. Yeah. They just take your bike. It's amazing.
What?
Yeah. I wish I could remember the name of the organization, because I was so grateful to them. It's this like nonprofit organization that they want to encourage people to ride their bikes.
That's genius.
You'll see it tonight when you go, because they have a tent right there in front of the main gate.
That's amazing.
You ride your bike up. They take it. They watch it the whole time. You just, like I had my helmet and I was like, oh, can't take my helmet in. They're like, we'll watch it. It's cool.
Wow.
Anyway, what was my point? Oh, so I'm at the game, and people get on the jumbotron thing, and they freak out. And I was just thinking, especially nowadays, when everyone, like, I feel like sometimes people will ask me, like, have your daughters seen the movie Enchanted, and did they think that was so cool that you were up on the screen? And I was like, I mean, they've seen it, and of course they think it's cool. It's not like it was if I would have seen my dad. Everyone's on screens. Yeah. Screens are everywhere.
That's such a fascinating point.
Right? And so I was just thinking, what is it? What is the Chip Dodd lowest common denominator? Is that the right term? What is the deepest emotion here? You know what I mean? Like, why do people get so excited when they see themselves on the jumbotron?
You want honestly what my answer is?
Yeah.
Because we're being seen.
Yeah. Is that it, you think?
I think you want to talk about the deepest, in my opinion, the deepest need for every human anyway, but it's just really literally happening.
Yeah.
Like that eye in the sky, that one camera could have picked any of these.
It could be on anyone. It could be
whatever it is, 40,000 people or whatever fit in there, and I am being seen.
Yeah.
Like, here I am.
Which is I think it's really interesting.
But you make a great point. Like, it is, where culture is now, like, that used to be, yeah. So your girls were like, I remember when that happened and you were on Enchanted. I mean, I remember freaking out. I went and saw the movie. I was like, "Oh my God, it's John!"
Oh, the whole world.
Like I know him.
About it.
I mean, everybody. Before Twitter, these things called newspapers. Everybody.
I mean,
was
the
like,
buzz just died down.
oh
really.
my gosh, there's people actually staring at us right now.
Yeah.
They're looking at you. But that was a huge deal. You were in a major motion picture for like minutes. It wasn't just like, like I was an extra in a movie once. Like it wasn't that. You were like on, and we all freaked out in kind because it was like, that's our friend who's doing this. It's a huge deal. But now you're exactly right, because people are so used to being on a screen. It's like, well, anybody's on a screen. Sure, if you were in like a whatever, like a some huge motion picture like you were, it's still, I mean, kids would freak out if they saw me in like an X-Men movie or something. You know what I mean? Like it'd be like, oh my God, my dad's up there. I don't know why I chose X-Men, but maybe because it's a secret passion of mine. But I think you make a great point, because you're it's just like, or somebody's got a YouTube channel, so you see them. It's just not the thing it used to be. Of like, I remember when I was a kid, this is like one of my core memories. We had a guy that went to my dad's church, was a weatherman on TV. He's a meteorologist, and he came and had dinner with us when I was probably like 4 or 5. And I just remember thinking, this is Kenny Rogers. This is. I wore that guy out. Like, I think I asked for his autograph.
Of course.
It was like, it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom and dad thought it was like the cutest thing.
Yeah.
And but he was on TV. It was like, this guy's
huge.
A superstar.
Yep.
Where nowadays, I think kids are just so used to seeing people on screens, even if it's just your home movies or, your pictures, videos you shot on your iPhone.
I remember my dad brought home a cassette tape of his band. They had like recorded some songs. And I remember Linwood Drive at our house, like in the driveway, the cassette was in the car. I was like, what is happening right now? Wait a minute. Like, do we own a private jet now? Like,
are we famous?
Logistically, how does our life change? Because obviously, everything that we've known is in the past now. We are on a rocket ship.
I can eat as many pumpkins as I want all the time.
And now that would not be, you know.
That's
it's just interesting, which I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's like, I kind of like that if you, it makes me think of that Malcolm Gladwell book, Blink, where there's like your conscious thoughts and then your like reflex thoughts. And it's like, it's nice to know that like our conscious thoughts have been just completely beat to oblivion by this oversaturation.
Yeah.
But our reflex is still like, we're on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
That was interesting.
And tonight, that's what we're really going for.
Get on that screen.
Get on that screen.
I mean, you're probably, I don't know if you even come out of the suite ever, but you got to come out to where the people are to get on the.
It's going to be chilly. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It's going to be too cold.
Stay in the suite.
I'm at just for those keeping track of the bladder, I'm at 99.97.
Hey, can I do 2 quick
things? If you have any more thoughts, I might explode.
Okay. Can I say, as we wrap it up, 2 quick things?
Yeah.
John has a new mood song out for those who've made it this long on the podcast. It is awesome.
Thank you.
And it shows, again, your skill.
Thank you.
And I think at this point, my record will be out, which is called Featherbrain Wealth Motel. Y'all go spin both of them.
Remember when?
Spin them into oblivion.
I had that song stuck in my head this morning.
Oh, you little schnooky.
You wanted everything.
Hey, John.
Right now.
Go relieve your bladder, okay? Let's do it. Not now.
Keep
No,
the mic on.
No,
Keep
not
the
now.
mic on. That